again.
You trying to get everybody drunk, huh?
It's working.
Yeah.
Yo, I bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. Hands up if you know you bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. Hands up if you know I bridge the gap for him.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Everyone Have a Story. I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I saw my man, when I saw my man doing his thing, because he gonna tell you what he do, but it was just amazing to me the combinations that was going into it. So let my man introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? Drew Cone, CEO of CONEWORK. I'm a basketball skills trainer. Just up and down the East Coast, really, just based out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so obviously you got some type of background
Yeah.
with basketball.
Yeah, so I grew up here. Born and raised in Greensboro. Played high school ball at Eastern Side High School.
You went to Eastern
Yeah.
Site? Okay.
Yeah, just right here,
Okay.
right around the corner. Was pretty. I had a pretty good 4 years there. Played started varsity all 4 years. So yeah, I mean I was, and I'm very undersized. That's the key. I'm 5'4". I'm undersized.
Right.
So that's when so I mean I've already gained people respect just off of that. Just off of that alone. So yeah, then my college route was, that's when the pump started happening, and that's when I grew as a man. Like yeah, I went to two different. I went to 4 different schools.
Okay.
In 5 years. Had to have surgery on my knee my first year, so of course I redshirted. So then, man, it's just been bumps. I mean that's when I finally saw, like, hey, like life. It's not always smooth.
Yeah.
Like high school was smooth.
Yeah.
I went by it smooth. College, boy, that junk hit. It hit for real. There's times I was contemplating, not playing anymore. Just throwing it all away. But man, look, man, God is real faithful. Honestly, He is, man. I just kept my head down, just kept working hard. That's it. And at the end of the day, for my faults and anything like that, I don't blame anybody but myself.
Right.
And and I'll just learn from
Accountability.
everything. Yeah.
Accountability. Right.
Yep. Hold myself accountable. So and that's what I did, and I just put my head down. And I just kept running. So I played last year at Ecclesia College.
Okay.
And
Where's that located?
Midwest.
Okay.
Midwest, and I just killed. Averaged 24 points.
Yeah?
Yeah, last year. Yeah, I was out there. Man,
Word.
my thing is too, like, with me, and what helped me out a lot is that I got away. I got away from everybody who I knew. And it was like a fresh start. Like, I didn't know anybody down there. Nobody knew me. So I went down there with like, hey, like I don't have no pressure on myself. Cause I was like, man, look, I'm walking places, people don't know me. So I'm like, cool, if I make a mistake, people don't know me. So they're like, hey, so I mean, I went out there and man, I just left everything out on the line. I worked as hard as I ever did. And that last year, it was actually last year. Last year was really my breakout year. And
So hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
You just finished last year?
Just finished last year. So
Word.
I'm 1 year into CONEWORK. Literally 1 year. This month makes 1 year. On the 17th. So hold on. I just passed 1 month. 1 year of CONEWORK.
Wow.
1 year CONEWORk. 2 days ago. Monday. Yeah.
Wow.
1 year. Yep.
And it's crazy because we'll get into it more, but our stories are similar in our path with basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if you didn't see me as you was talking,
Yeah.
I'm going like, wow, yo.
It's crazy. Like when I tell like I can really get into it. So like my first year I went to San Jose Community College, and that's in Pinehurst. And then that's when I hurt my knee. And then things just happened there. I was like, I just really didn't feel comfortable. I was like, kind of playing out of position because I'm a shooter. So I was like, I'm a 5'4" shooter. We already had a bunch of guards. So I was like, I had to remove myself and be like, hey, I gotta do what's best for me. So then I went to Guilford Technical Community College, which is in Jamestown. And I went there for 2 years, and Coach Chandler, man, he's an awesome coach.
Yeah.
He gave me an opportunity that nobody else would. Like he was like, hey, balls in your court. Of course, one thing that I love about Coach, and he just let, I had to come in. Like, it's not like I had to try out for the team. That second year, he gave me money, but I had to try out for G-Tech. I I was not even on the team.
Right.
And he was like, he put the ball in my court. He was like, you got to show me and prove to me that you can really go. And that's what I showed him. You know, first year was kind of rocky, man. But that second year, coach just let me do what I do. Honestly, he did. And man, I averaged like 16 points in Region 10. And that's tough. Like Region 10, like we had Lewisburg, Richard Bland. I mean, all of my JUCO guys can vouch for me. We had Bryan and Stratton, Catawba Valley. Like it's one of the toughest JUCOs. Like it's so tough. At the national tournament, our region gets 2 bids. Usually, you only get one bid out of each region. We get 2 because there's so many good teams. Yeah, so it was tough. Yeah, I mean, we just North CC was up in there. Man, it was we had about 12 teams, but every team could go. So it was like, man, that jump was a tough. And he just gave me the opportunity. Then I went to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer was when like I was on the all-time high. I was like, okay, I'm gonna come in here. You know, it's Division 3. You know, I was. You know, and I was like, man, you know, I'm coming here, I'm gonna show and prove. You know, that's because I'm 5'4". So I'm all about showing up. I gotta prove myself. Everywhere I go, wherever gym, even with training. Like I gotta show up and I gotta prove. Like you gotta prove your worth. And man, Pfeiffer was kind of up and down year. I played varsity, made the varsity team. That went really well. Then I hit a spell where it was just like downhill. So I actually played varsity and JV as a junior. And you know, to most people, they like, yo, JV, junior, there was like, you know, junior year, they like, right, wrong. Man, but I actually, man, God bless me, man. I got
You learned from that.
Man, I learned from it. But honestly, I
it's
knew
great that you was humble enough to even adjust to it, though.
And honestly, and this is what I was like, you know, I mean, you know, every coach and stuff, you know, I was like, I could play on the team. Honestly, I think that it was just all God. Honestly. Definitely. Because I was dressing out for varsity. Even though I really wasn't playing, and you know, I can tell myself, like, I really had to, at the end of the day, I don't blame anybody but myself. Like, honestly. Like, after I saw, hey, you know, I wasn't playing on varsity team, I had great coaches in Pfeiffer. Like, that's the thing. Like, Coach Mo, Coach Durkee.
Shout out coaches.
Yes, Coach Pete that was there. Coach Pete, the head coach. I mean, me and him, you know, we had a great, you know, friendship right now. But I was just like, man, you know, looking back at it, I mean, honestly, looking back at it, I didn't play because I was not producing. Honestly. And I was like, in the heat of the moment, I was mad. You know how you like, you like, man, you blaming this, that, and the third. Man, look, and one day that junk just flipped. Like, I remember here's my guy, Eric. He's a trainer down in Georgia. So he was the GA, well, kind of like GA. He was like just volunteer helping out the team. And he's a really good trainer. So it was like one day I was like, yo, E, I want to hit the gym every day. Like that jump, the flip just switched. So it was like season started November, December went by, January 1st. It was like the new year. I was like, look, I'm in the gym every day. I was like, I'm not playing on the varsity team. I'm playing JV. But I was like, look, to where I want to get to, where the ultimate goal was to get a contract across East, which I did after Ecclesia. But at the end of the day, I was like, yo, like, I'm trying to get in the gym every day. I was like, I'm gonna hit the court twice a day, and I'm gonna hit the weight room one time every single day. And I worked out like it was the all season during the year because I was like, not only like I was like, you know, I'm gonna be, you know,
said you worked out like it was the what?
All season, in season. And honestly, I did that, and I was like, yo, I have to get better. Like, and I ain't trying to be funny. My teammates saw every single day in practice, even on the varsity team, they saw, hey, this dude is really getting better. Like, as the season progresses, because even though I wasn't playing, I was like, look, my goal is higher than making a college team. My goal is to be a professional basketball player. So it was like that jump switched, and I was like, look, you either go step up to the plate and you go work as hard as you can, or you honestly, or you need to find another profession. Like, honestly, or you need to be hard in the books.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, like you either go do one, two. Like, you either go attack it, or you just go shot down. Man, look, dog, I attacked that thing, and you can, man, look, Eric can vouch to this day. We was up. I was up in the morning, 7, 8 a.m. before class. Man, we was doing an hour before class, hard in the gym. I'm talking about no breaks, hour straight. So I did not care. Like, honestly, at that point, I didn't care if I was going to class stinking. I just didn't care. I was like, I got work. Like, work has to be done. So hour, boom, lunch break, well, whatever. I have a time in the weight room, or when the all season hit, we do sand workouts. Yeah, Eric would take me to the sand. We'll do sand workouts. And after that, shooting on the gun. Look, we shoot, and then I'll be like, yo, EA, what's up? That's what we call him, EA. Man, look, he just take me through a couple more drills. Man, look, we was non-stop. So then the season ended. Well, I've already had all season. I was already like 3 months into the all season.
Right.
Carried that thing on through. Came back here, trainers, man, look, Coach Moody, Richard Daniels, man, you know my dad, you know, he was a trainer too.
Cause your dad's a trainer.
Yeah, here,
okay.
yeah, in Kernersville,
We'll
just around
get
here.
We'll get to him later.
So I mean, so like that's just crazy. Like I was just working. Like I proved, like, I mean, I was just like, look, if you really want to really accomplish this goal at 5'4", I keep saying that because people like, no, when you come up to me and when you stand next to me, I'm legit 5'4", honestly. So I was like, I have to work harder than your average person because I'm not tall.
Right.
Like, I mean, I have to be, you know, I have to be quicker, faster, you know, and my thing is, you have to hone in at one skill that's really, you know, and mine was catching and shooting.
Yes.
Mine was catching and shooting, so I kept that. I was, that was also a focus, you know, just getting off quicker. And shooting deeper, that's why I was in the weight room. I did chest and back like the whole summer. Because I was like, yo, you know, the upper body. I was like, I got to get that thing all deeper. You know, I got to shoot it quicker. And then what I had, you know, I was telling my trainers, man, they worked on with me off the dribble. So I was getting both. I was like, man, look, I got to get the off the dribble quick and the catch and shoot. And then, you know, the handle, the floater, you know, all that is all mixed in. You know, you got to have the whole package and the handle. Because I'm just really a shooter. Well, I was a shooter. But now I can really handle it now. And, man, that joint just took me up a whole nother level. Like, so when I stepped on EC campus, it was kind of like that same thing, had to show and prove, because then nobody know me. Right. And honestly, like, I sent myself to coach. He offered me, my dude, Coach Huck, he offered me. And, you know, I mean, he just saw the JV film. So he was like, yo, like, this dude, you know what I mean? Like, he brought me in. I went there for a workout, man. I killed the workout. And, man, you know, I just, like I said, show and prove to my teammates. That, hey, you know, I'm here. You know, I'm going to be, you know, I took it over from day one. I was like, you know, I'm going to be the leader of the team. You know, y'all follow, man, my habits, you know. You know, and I was just, man, look, after that, it was the rest of history. And then I end up, you know, after EC last year, you know, I got offered to play in the country. And, man, you know, I just accomplished my goal. And, you know.
So you didn't want to play?
Well, after, so here's the key. My body, from playing so much last year, and we played 32 games, and I was playing like 38 minutes a game, my body was just like, honestly, like, my body was just like, nah. Really? Yeah, like, I came back, my knee was swollen, I didn't have like a little procedure done, if I did play. I didn't have a procedure done. Because I was like, man, and then, you know, Lord willing, when I got back here, my dad was a head coach at Shine Light Academy. So then he let me come in, you know, train some of my people. And my boy Monte Brandon and Reggie Dillard, those two were the first ones, you know, that hit me. They're across these ball players. So, yeah, and they hit me. They was like, yo, you know, like, I just asked them. I was like, you know, can I take y'all through a workout? You know, first it was Monte. So then I was like, Monte was like, okay, cool. But at that point, you know, like, I'm just starting off. Like, this is like the first week of CONEWORK. I'm just starting off. And I'm starting off with a professional basketball player. So, you know, and I've known Monte throughout the years, but my mindset going into the workout, like, look, you got to show and prove, because if I take this man through a horrible workout, I ain't trying to be funny, he's a professional basketball player, he ain't coming back.
He's not coming back.
He ain't coming back.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
A professional basketball player and one professional help.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was like, man, I studied the game. When Monte told me he was ready, man, look, I studied the game for about throughout that night. I mean, I stayed up. I was on, you know, just watching film. You know, I was watching his game, you know, comparing it to everybody, you know, to other people's game, you know, just mixing it in. So, you know, man, and after that, everything just skyrocketed. After I posted him, you know, he posted up that he was in the gym with me. You know, my boy Reggie came, and after that, the floodgates opened up. And that's when CONEWORK was really, that's when that thing just picked up. CONEWORK just picked up. Like, we just started running. Well, I just started running with it. Yeah. So, I mean, God has really blessed me, and, you know, I get my fix because I do step out on the court and I play with the guys sometimes. So my thing is, I get my fix, my plan from playing against them, because I know, hey, like, you know, these are guys that are playing in college currently. You know, some professionals. So I was just like, man, you know, and my high schoolers too, like, they're really good high schoolers. So I just get my fix from playing with them. So, you know, and I think that honestly, everything works out for a reason.
Yes. Yes.
And my destiny is to help out, you know,
Yes.
other young guys and
Yes.
even guys that are older than me. Young guys and older guys, you know, just
Whoever
just
wanna get better.
Yeah, whoever want to get better.
Yeah.
You know, just with basketball and with life too.
Right.
So you know, because I preach to all my kids, I'm like, look, when y'all step in the gym, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like school as well. Like if you go in there and if you get 50%, well, your grades are gonna reflect 50%. Well, your game is gonna reflect 50%. And I ain't trying to be funny. I mean, the world is very like it's a very competitive world.
Yes, it is.
It's a very competitive world. Like people, like the job that you want, people are also going after it. You're not the only one out here.
A
with
lot of
hopes
people
and
think they're the
dreams.
only one.
Like you're not the only one. And my thing is, when I teach the kids, I said, y'all, there's other kids from a part of the country too. So stop looking at everybody that's around here, and imagine what a kid from another city, from another
Right.
state. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you have to go at this. Like if you really want something, you will have to go after it. Like with everything that you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you can't shortcut nothing.
No.
You just gotta put your head down and you gotta go. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be funny. You have to keep God first in everything you do. That's number one.
First and foremost.
Yeah, first and foremost. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother like.
Right.
We need to start right there.
Right. You
Look,
gotta start right there.
Yeah, we gotta start right there because you know what I mean. And then He will lead you into the path you know that you destined for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I thought that I was gonna be going across seas playing basketball for a very long time. Well, I mean that just you know what I mean. Like I ain't trying to be funny. When I came back here, it's crazy because after my season ended, I started training for the off season. Okay, and that's just trying to go pro.
Right.
Go pro.
Right.
My knee was fine, but how in the world all of a sudden I get back to North Carolina and my knee starts swelling up, and so I'm telling you, like everything happens for a reason.
Yes,
And
it
then I start my training business, and everything just skyrockets. So I was just like looking back at it, I'm like, hey, that happened for a reason because I was gonna be down. Like, and the camps coming up, I know that's when the virus hit, but camps was coming up, but across seas and stuff, and I was gonna attend a couple, but I couldn't because of, my knee started swelling up. My guy, Dr. T was like, look, I'm gonna have to go up in there if you really want to play, at a high level. I'm gonna really have to go in there, do something. I don't forgot, but I was like, man, I was like. That's when the business was starting to go, so I was like, man, I'm just gonna stick with business,
Right.
and I think that was God's wisdom, just moving forward. So, I mean, my knee's fine now, and that's the crazy part. Like, I didn't choose to do that,
Right.
and then my knee's back right. I was like, man, God just has a funny way of just telling us some things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really what built up to CONEWORK, and man. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I realized about life, man. What you think is for you is really not for you. It gives you the tools. You know what I mean? In case you're pointing pretty much what you're talking about. And this why I envy you a little bit, because you recognized that earlier than I did. You know what I mean? I was still trying to search, and you know what I mean? In the midst of it, I kind of lost myself a little bit because I wasn't chasing the love. I was more chasing something else that wasn't even for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But through all of that, I was able to bring everything together and pretty much get into my purpose now. So, all right. Now let's get into, because when I was first watching combinations, now normally them combinations happen through instincts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you practice one move.
Yeah.
And then when you out in the game, you do the move, somebody cut it off, and your instincts make you go to another move. But you put all of it together.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell me about that, and tell me about the way the game is now also.
Okay, so what I do is, I just try to incorporate a lot of stuff. Game realistic, and you've watched my training.
Right.
Everything is game realistic stuff.
Right.
Like you see actual
Speed
people
and
doing
everything.
it. Speed, everything.
Right.
So I just ain't out here doing no tricks, no
Right.
hoop hollering, having, doing circles. No, like we really like when we get to work, we get to work. Now the moves, I take some of the moves that I learned. And then, of course you gotta watch the game of basketball.
Right.
So, you take bits of people's games here, there, you see something, you like, oh, you know, one of my clients, they can do that move. You know, because they just have the body, you know, the body frame, or they quick. So hey, so and so can do that move. You know, I think that this would be good to add to what they already have. You know, so that's where I get basically all my stuff. You know, just watching the game. You know, just watching. I mean, different trainers, different coaches. You know, just different. You know, just games in general. You know, you watch basketball. I mean, I watch basketball 24/7 on my phone. You know, on Twitter, all I follow is basketball people. On Instagram, I'll follow, like, you go to my search feed, just basketball. Like everything is basketball. So you know, so because I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to learn in every aspect. So I mean, you know, just that, and you know, just with my training, you know, and you've seen it. We work out for 30 minutes. And after that, we play. Okay, because I hate, you know, people being drill prone. So I love working out for 30 minutes, and then you gotta apply that.
Now you gotta apply it.
Whether we do 3-on-3.
Why it's fresh in their head?
Yes. Why it's fresh in their head? Yeah. So whether we do 3-on-3, 4-on-4.
No wonder why you do that.
Or 1-on-1. Because you have to get used to somebody playing in front of you. You know, and that's my thing. Like, we can do all the moves and stuff on air, but can you execute that when you have somebody in front of you? Because now, and plus I love doing live action because it teaches players how to read the defense.
Right.
How to read your defender. You know, most kids, they just do moves just to do moves. And now, there's where I'm taking, even right now, CONEWORK to the next level is because I'm teaching my clients how to read the defender.
Right.
Okay? Yeah.
Right.
So if they, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, if one move, if you already have in your program, in your mind, you know, you probably go do one move. Well, if they playing you a certain way, that move is not gonna work. Because they just gonna cut that off. So you gotta what? You gotta use your instincts, set them up for that next move, and you just don't. Or catch and shoot. You know, you wide open. That's one. That's another thing that I'm really implementing now. Reading your defense, but also catch and shoot. Because there's a lot of kids out here that really can't shoot the ball. But you know, that's my mindset in training moving forward is, you know, all my clients, for them just to be able to be comfortable. Just catch wherever you at, just rise up. Rise up, because I'm telling you, once you be able to shoot, now that floor space out, everybody got to close out, and you just go by. Everything opens up, man. So that's, so I mean, that's just a little bit, you know, of what, you know, my training, you know what I mean, and I just love the intensity. You know what I mean, I have pros in there, from college kids, high school, you know, my elite middle schoolers, 8th graders, you be up in there.
Them 8th graders tough.
Hey, look, man, look, I got some middle schoolers that can go. But, you know, my thing is putting them around those guys where they want to be at. And then when they get a little confidence, hey, you know, I can play, you know what I mean? You know, I know it's just training, but they be like, yo, hey, you know, I mean, I made a move on so-and-so. He go to this high school, or so-and-so. He go to this college, you know. So now you building up that confidence. And I love my older guys going at my young guys, because the older guys, they don't take it easy. So it's like they really in attack mode. So, you know, and then I just, you know, my thing is I preach. I don't care who's on the court. You go at them.
You got to go at it.
You go at them. You go at them.
You go at them.
Look, and I mean, there's really no explanation. Like, if you can score the ball, score the ball. I mean, that's basketball. You got to score to win. You know, and that's my mindset. You know, of course, you know, PG, you got to help out the team. But when you need a bucket, you need a bucket. It's just that simple. So I mean, so you know, you go at everybody who's in front of you. I don't care what the age range is. I don't care. I mean, you know. So I mean, you know, so that's just, you know, just the training, and, you know, 30 minutes drills, 30 minutes, you know, playing, and then, you know, of course I'm teaching all throughout, even on the live
you be completely engaged. You always completely engaged.
Gotta be, because I ain't trying to be funny. I'm trying to be the best trainer that I can be. You know what I mean? So I don't want any hiccups. I don't want anything. Like, I'm locked in, very locked in. So.
Okay. Now, we was having a conversation before about this, and when you said it, I had to really think about it. Why is it hard for a young person right from high school to get a scholarship nowadays?
Because of the transfer portal. That's one big thing. I mean, this year it reached over, I think, 2,000 people in the transfer portal. And then you have junior colleges, because colleges now want, you know, they gotta win now. So they want seasoned guys who done played on that college level. And then, you know, of course, you got prep schools. So you got your top prep schools in the country. So that's a 13th grade right there. They're
13th
playing
grade.
against other
Right.
prep schools and other JUCOs, so they're not even playing high schools
Right.
anymore. So
Right.
they're playing against grown men.
Yes.
Like prep school, you
Yes.
can be 21, 22. So
Yeah.
you're playing grown men.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
you take those
Right.
3, and then high school's the last one. High school, you got to be, right now you got to be better than ever before to receive a scholarship. Like that's just for a scholarship. You have to, and I ain't trying to be funny. I'm talking about a full scholarship. I'm not talking about a half scholarship.
Right.
Like they give you $1,000 per
Right.
year. I'm talking about a
Full
true
ride.
full ride.
Mhm.
If you want to go to school for a free education, man, look, you gotta be a dog. You gotta be an ultimate dog. Honestly, you gotta be a dog. You got to. And I ain't trying to be funny. The ones with that mindset, everything comes down to a mindset.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I
believe
figured
that.
out, like I was telling you, and the people that's watching, is that last, my junior year at Pfeiffer, it's like the switch just came on.
Mhm.
That mindset.
Mindset.
And I worked hard, and I ain't trying to be funny. I don't care who was in front of me.
Mhm.
I went at it
Mhm.
every single day.
Mhm.
Went at it. I just went at the grind, at it. People played against me. I just went at them. I just challenged myself. Just to get better.
Right.
That's what most kids they don't have that. They don't have that mindset. They think that 3 hours a week will get them a scholarship playing basketball. And I ain't trying to be funny. That's not okay. Because there's
Nah.
kids out here that's going to
That
get
is
it
going
every
in.
single
Yes.
day.
Yes.
And
Yes.
my thing, I tell people all the time, the worst thing is the little game system. Hate the game system, honestly, because man, you can be doing something productive, trying to reach your goal.
Mhm.
Like I don't know the percentages off the top of my head, but they're very slim right now to even playing at that college level, even to receiving a scholarship. That number for high school is done got very low, and then we talking about professional after. Like you got to be a whole nother dog
Right.
after that. So
Right.
there is levels to it. I'm trying to tell you, man, you keep the faith, you grind. Like I ain't trying to be funny, you don't shortcut. That's one thing with me. Okay, so now let's take it back to my family. Okay, when I looking back at my life now, I took shortcuts. I worked hard, but it was not hard enough.
Yeah.
That
Same here.
I'm seeing right now.
Same here.
Like I
Same
thought
here.
that I was grinding.
Yeah.
When I posted, man, grind don't stop. Honestly, I was not grinding,
Mm.
and I can look y'all in the face and tell you that I was not.
Yeah, I thought I was too. So
I was not
feel
grinding,
my
so-
man. Now I'm grinding.
Yeah,
Now
I mean
I'm
now since you done been through it,
Right.
and now you know what it takes.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like now it's like, with my family, so my brother, Madison, he received full scholarship to the University of Wisconsin for football.
Okay.
He's my younger brother.
Okay.
Then my brother Jalen.
Hey, hold on, I think he was one of the young
Yeah.
boys that came in.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
time
yeah, he
before,
did.
Like probably
Yeah,
like a month.
yeah, he
or
did.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Madison came in there hoop one time.
Okay.
And then Jalen, he was at Virginia Tech. Now he's going out school out west. So both of them, they have a chance to be in the NBA and NFL.
Okay.
If they do what they're supposed to do this year,
Nice.
which they probably are. Because they are dogs.
Okay.
And my thing is looking back at what they was doing. Like I ain't trying to be funny. I used to be in high school sleep. Madison and JJ, when they was in middle school, they was outside in the morning at 5:30 in the morning, jumping rope and running. And I'm sitting there still laying down, sleeping, waking up like, these dudes are crazy. And guess what? I would go back to sleep. Well, you know what? There's a reason why they receive full rides and I went junior college. Like, let's stop being around the bush. Like, honestly.
Right.
Like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
would be like, hey, I don't want to do push-ups.
Right.
I ain't like the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these two, push-ups, sit-ups, toe raisers. While I'm just sitting there, I ain't trying to be putting up eating cookies. You know what I mean? Watching TV, having a jolly old time. Again, that's why they went Division I and got scholarships. That's why I went to junior college. Like, there's like, I'm trying to tell you, like, it's not, and most people, they make it harder than it seems.
Yes,
it's
they
not
do.
rocket science, honestly.
It's really
you
not.
either going to go get it with your whole mind and your whole heart,
Yeah.
or you not going
Or
to
you-
get what
right.
you desire.
That's it.
Honestly. Like,
Plain and simple.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is really it.
Mhm.
And that's why I love my brothers, because now looking back at it, hey, because I have my wife. Hey, baby.
Hey, wife.
Yes, that's my love right there. She's the greatest mother in the world. So, that's one thing that I'm starting to teach my boys now, especially my oldest one. I'm like, look, you gotta go get this thing. Like nobody in the world's gonna hand it to you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when, you know, I mean, there's levels, but you know, I mean, and that's why I tell my clients too. I'm like, look, dog, I mean, there's kids out here, like, I look at my brothers now, like, I ain't trying to be funny, we got a hill, man. My brothers was running the hill. Like, they was doing, like, literally 3 to 4 workouts in high school, in middle school. Like, they are working.
Man, if
Like,
I was doing that,
they are working. Like, I ain't trying to be funny with a, like, with a medicine ball, they running up the hill. Like, they got on weighted vests, running up the hill. You know, they running miles, you know, for conditioning. But it was just something, you know, just me looking back at it, I'm just like, yo, like, if I would have put in that extra effort, you know, like, what can, you know, I thank God for the stuff that I've been doing now, but that's why I be telling some kids, I'm like, look, y'all don't want to look back and be like, hey, I could have done this, I could have done that. You know what I mean? Like, you want to put everything into the basket now.
Yeah.
Put everything you got.
Them what ifs suck.
Don't, yeah, they do.
What ifs suck.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, the what ifs suck. But you know, I'm just blessed that, you know, I finally called it, you know, my junior year of college.
Yes.
And you know, I ain't trying to be funny, it's gonna set me up for the rest of my life. And I'm glad, and I'm 24 years old.
Yes, it is.
So I mean, I called it kind of early. You know, I wish I would have called it earlier. But since I called it at a certain time, man, you know, God has really blessed me. You know, I have no complaints, I have no regrets. You know, because everything in my life happened for a reason. Everything in your life happens for a reason, man. But you know, just with my family, man, like, man, my brothers, like, I see, like people like they be like, yo, like, your brothers really be used to doing this, like, you know what I mean? Like, when they was little, I'm like, man, yeah. I'm like, man, yeah, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Like, man, like, they came to the point one time, like, I think my parents had to force my 2 brothers to stop working out because I think they was, like, literally hurting themselves. Honestly, like, they just don't stop. And I ain't trying to be funny. They still have that mentality now. Like, that's why they're both up to play in the highest league there is in the country. Because because they just don't stop. Like, they just don't stop. Like, my brother, like, Madison, JJ, like, with their respect to sports, like, they always, you know, they watching basketball or they're watching football, you know what I mean? Or they outside getting better. You know, they're attacking their mind, their body, their soul, in everything they do. So it's like, man, like, there's cats out here, you know what I mean, just like that. And you know, it's that hunger. You know what I mean? Like, my dad, he didn't give us nothing. Like, he was like, you know, I mean, you gotta show and prove. Like, you know, like, when we was little, you know, we used to want to play with the bigger guys at the YMCA. You know, my dad, he used to get us on the team. And then after that, it's us. If you lose, you know, everybody back in the day. Right. If you lose, you gotta go home. Yeah, you gotta show up and you gotta prove it. And I don't care who's on the court. I don't care if bruh's out there 40 years old and you 10 years old. Right. If you step on that court, if you lose, the game is over. It's a wrap. So you had to go out there and you literally
I remember those days, boy.
You literally had to fight. And honestly, I think that my dad saw that we was all like, cause my brother JJ, I mean, he's about 5'8". My brother Madison's about 5'9". So we all undersized for our sport. Right. So I think he saw that and he was like, just throw us in the wolves. Like he was like, I need to prepare y'all now. Right. So when y'all get older, you will understand. And I ain't trying to be funny. I love my dad to death for doing that, honestly. Like, some days, you know, when I was little, I was, man, like, we gotta play against, you know, like, these big guys. Like,
a lot of people would think, a lot of people would kind of like look at it a certain type of way because they didn't have a father. Yeah. But your father taught you the toughness. Man, look, man, my father. He ain't cut you no slack.
Man, no slack. No slack. Honestly, there was no slack.
That's how I be with my son.
Look, there's no slack. Like, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny. Like, I done got into a car. We done drove down to Charlotte for a tournament that same day. If I ain't showing proof that game, we drive on the way back. The tournament about 3 days. Now he ain't play. He did not play. He did not play. He ain't play. Wow. He ain't play none of that stuff. Like, if you, and this one thing that I'm learning now as a parent myself, dog, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of money spent. Yes, you know what I mean? Yes, so my thing is, now that I look back at it, I'm like, yo, I was dumb for not playing hard. Like, my dad done spent gas money. He buying me food. He buying my brother's food. It's more than just me. Right. You know, our whole family got to travel these AAU tournaments. I know back in the day, it's probably like $10 or $15 to get in. But I'm just like, man, that's still a lot of money. That just add up. So I'm like, man, like, and I was dumb enough to even go out there and give 50% effort. You know what I mean? Like, that's, man, look, that's, you know, so that's why I tell some of these kids now, I'm like, man, when y'all go out to these AAU tournaments, you're not just playing. Everything you do in life is not just for you.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand.
Right.
Everything is not it's not just for you.
Yes.
There's more people involved.
Yes, it is.
You know what
Yes,
I mean?
it is.
And that's what Tyler Perry, he said his quote. He said, there's many people tied up into your dream.
Yes, it
He
is.
said, own your dream.
Own your dream.
And I'll never forget that quote because I'm like, look, I'm trying to get to this spot. But like, you know, there's other people in the mix with me, you know, that's praying for me, you know, they helping me out, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like they sacrifice a lot of stuff so I can get to my dream. You know what I mean? Like my wife, like, you know, I mean, like she loves me being at the gym and stuff. And you know, I mean, I work a lot, but you know, I mean, she's like, hey, you know, I mean, you grinding, you getting it, and you know, I know that she's praying for me. But I'm like, look, that's why I go hard every day. I got a wife, I got 4 boys. I got it like there's no other way. Cause if I don't,
you got 4 boys?
Yeah, well I got 3 right now, and then 1 on the way.
Word?
Yeah, 1 on the way.
I didn't even know that.
Yep, 1 on the way. Yep.
Congratulations.
So, hey, look, I appreciate that,
For
man.
real.
So everything I do is not for me, and it's for my family too. Like that's my family now because I just got married. But I'm saying like my brothers, my mom, my dad, like my grandma. Like there's other people that I know that's having.
You just hold on. So you just got married recently?
I just got married. It was a whole month ago.
You had a hell of a year, brother.
Man, look, I've been going.
And it's crazy you did all of this during COVID.
COVID's been a blessing. That's why I said. See, that's why I said. Like, imagine if I would have went across seas, my life would have looked a whole lot, different. Because ain't no telling. Like, I probably could still be over there stuck because of the virus. You know what I mean? So it's like. So, you know what I mean? God is really blessed me, man. But, you know, man, but my thing is...
I love the way you keep on bringing God into it.
Exactly, yeah.
Not enough people do it.
Yeah, man, look. True. If I ain't trying to be funny. I don't know how I accomplished everything in my life that I have did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, looking back at it, I'm like, how in the world did I do that?
Yeah.
Like, how in the world did I go from here to there? Right. Or how in the world did I get through this situation? It was nothing but God. Right. Honestly, because I'm looking back at it like, it was nobody like... orchestrate the steps, orchestrate this and the third. It was nothing but God. Honestly, nothing but God. And
in your will. God in your will.
Yeah, God in my will. And I was like, man, look, I mean, you know, I mean, I keep him. He's first. Honestly, like, if I take him out of CONEWORK right now, I try to be funny. You might not see me in another gym. Honestly, because he's the one that's setting up everything. He's the one that's bringing people in like yourself into my life. He's the one that's bringing people in steadily. He's the one that led me to what? TBA. You know, my boy Sam Hunt. You know, I've known Sam. You know, but it's crazy though, because Sam got the job at A&T, and then Sam was like, hey, you know, hopefully you could take over my somebody at TBA. Then that's when I met with Mr. Keith. And that was nothing but God. Right. That's right. At the end of the day, that's nothing but God. You know, everything in your life, and this is what people need to understand, it's not about you. It is nothing but God that got you to that point. You know what I mean? And looking back at it, that's over my whole life. That's what it really is. Like, it's nothing but God. You know what I mean? And look, I tell people all the time, you know, the way, you know, people ask me all the time, how come CONEWORK is so, you know, like, how come it's growing steadily? You know, and I tell people all the time, I was like, it's nothing but God. But also, it's a key piece. I know myself, you know, everybody sins. Everybody falls short of the glory of God. We got to all repent daily. But I know one thing, I give back. I pay my tithes and my offering. There you go. I give back to the church. You know, I give back, you know, it says it in the word, to give back to him. And every single, look, he says 10%, I get more than 10%. Because I'm just like, look, he keeps blessing me. You know, why not be fruitful and bless him back? You know, show him that he's worthy. You know, show him, hey, you know, I've been going through everything. You kept me safe. You know, you kept me in good health. You know, so I show him like, hey, you know, Lord, you know, I mean, it's you. Honestly. Like, I ain't trying to be funny. Why CONEWORK is going, and people like, how? I'm like, it's because I pay my tithes and my offering. Honestly. Like it's very that simple. And people, you know, and I know that's a whole nother conversation. But that's you know what I mean? Like, you gotta honor him. If you don't honor him, then I mean, he's the one that set you up. Like, he can literally take everything you got right now and strip it. He can strip everything you got right now. And you know, that's why, you know, I mean, I'm in the word daily, I pray daily, and that's why, you know, everything I do is to honor him. You know what I mean? And like I said, I ain't perfect. And now don't leave this thing
Right.
saying, man, look, this trainer perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm telling you that right now. You know what I mean? Because it does get heated in the gym sometimes. You know, even the gym or in life too.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just go through different things. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I say, God, you know, I'm sorry. I repent of my sins. You know, and you know, you forgive everybody. You know, if somebody's done wrong to you.
Right.
You know, or even if you've done wrong to somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You gotta
like,
forgive.
yeah. I mean,
gotta
you know,
forgive.
you just own up. You know, we
Yeah.
all grown now. You know, you just own up to your mistakes, and you just gotta keep moving forward. But at the end of the day, you gotta honor him. You got to.
And it's crazy because I read a quote from T.D. Jakes. He said, "God give us all a gift. I give back to who's using it."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much just piggybacking off of what you're talking about, which is a powerful thing because we never really were taught like this deep before. You know what I mean about that, but it makes sense the reason why you know, CONEWORK is growing the way it is, and it's also protected. You know what I mean? Because you're giving your tithes and you giving service. You know what I mean? And basically, we are blessed. We are blessed so we could bless others. You know what I mean? Like a person can't tell me that they truly blessed if they're not blessing other people. You understand what I'm saying? So whether with knowledge, money, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, And that's one thing, man, that I try to preach, you know, especially to the people in CONEWORK, man, you know, my clients, man. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm here for you more than just putting the ball through the hoop. You know what I mean? Like, if you need somebody to talk to, or, you know, everything I do, I try to relate it back to the real life situation. You know, like, so, I mean, you know, so I'm just like, you know, I mean, I know that, you know, I'm here, I'm a basketball trainer, but if you need me for anything, you know, I'm a try my best, you know, just to be there for your games, or, you know, or just to be there for you in general. You know, if you have a question, you know, about this, that, and the third, you know, I've been through a lot, and, you know, and my thing is, if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna point you somewhere in the direction where they know that, I mean, I ain't trying to be sitting here like I know everything, because I don't. That's why I ain't trying to be funny. That's why I still watch film for my training. That's why I talk to other trainers for my training. I talk to other coaches. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not one of those people. Like, I mean, my pride is nowhere in the way. I mean, you know, the stuff I've been through in my life, pride is not even the question. Like, my pride is to the side. I will help anybody, you know, everybody, and I will learn. I'm still learning. You know, I'm still young. I'm still learning. Man, and you know that's
the beautiful thing about it. Man. You're supposed to be a life student.
I mean, I learn from anybody and everybody. That's my thing. You know, I ain't trying to be funny. I learn sometimes from my clients. You know, like sometimes we might be doing the move, and the clients just don't like, you know, they just do something. I'm like, hold on, how come I didn't? But the client be like, yeah, you know, this, that. I'll be like, yo, you know, I'll be like, yo, I'm taking that. You know, so I'm gonna show other people, you know, so I'm always in the learning mindset. Like I ain't about to sit here.
Now, it's crazy that you're talking about that, because I was literally just thinking about this yesterday. And Dwayne Wade had a real tough story about Kobe. Now, you know, at this time, Dwayne Wade and Kobe, they pretty much was battling for the top two guards at this time. And Kobe wound up calling D Wade because of when they first lost to Boston. He saw how he was doing against Boston. He wound up calling D Wade, asking D Wade, yo, how did you do this, that, and the third to get clean? And that right there says it all. You know what I mean? To reach out to the person that you battle with.
And ask them questions. And, you know, I think that is, you know, people, they don't ask no questions.
They don't ask questions.
And, you know what I mean? And you can see them too. You know, I mean, Kobe, you know, I mean, he was asking Jordan and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it's proof, you know, they done said it, you know, he done said it himself, Jordan said it. You know what I mean? But it's just like, if you want to be great at something, you know, I ain't trying to be funny. You got to find somebody that is better than you at what you're doing. You know what I mean? And ask them like, hey, how you do this? And then you got to go home and you got to work on it, because that is, of course, you know, you want to get better at that area. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's, and, you know, I mean, that's very powerful. You know, and then that's one thing I've learned, you know, when just attacking everything that I do is, man, look, I'm trying to learn, you know, life skills on the court. You know, I mean, I ask different people, you know, just about, you know, parenting. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like how should I, you know what I mean? Like approach this, approach that, because, you know what I mean? you know, I mean, because I just, you know, I'm a parent now, so you know, I mean, and a husband too. So that's on top of that. So I'm like, I'm asking, you know, people who I trust, you know, positive people in my life. You know, I'm asking them questions. You know, like, you know, like how should I do A, B, C, and D?
Right.
You know, how should I approach this or that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And they give me honest feedback.
Right.
You know, that's,
right.
you know, one thing that, you know, everybody that's in my circle, they're very honest with me, and they're very upfront, and that's what I love.
need that.
And you know, I've weeded out everybody that had a negative. You know what I mean? Like if your friends, everything are always telling you yes, it's a problem. Honestly, if you come at them with deep questions, and you tell them your side of the story, and they be like, man, you know, if they say, man, you right, you know, every single time, it's a problem. It's a problem because you know good and well
you're not right all the time, or right?
You're not right.
Exactly.
So I mean, I love that, you know, my close friends, even my family, you know what I mean, like that. I can just go up to them, ask them a question, and they'll give it to me real. You know, and even if I'm in the wrong, they be like, "Yo, you need to go back. You need to apologize."
I think people look more at the want than the need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The need is supposed to be first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they mix it up. You know what I mean? Like,
like
even going forward, like even with my marriage, I had to learn how I needed to learn my wife before I could love her the way she wants to be loved. You know? So, man, listen, I didn't even think we was gonna go there, but that's the beautiful thing about these conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The beautiful thing about these conversations is you just never know where it's gonna go. And I will continue to say this probably on every one that I do. Like, I'm a fiend. Like, literally, if I ask you to be here, that means I admire something about you. That means, and I'm gonna find out something that I didn't know before. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
sir.
listen, what would you say? This is how we go in this. What would you say to that young athlete, big in stature, you know what I mean? Pretty much go against that athletic type, but got the love and hunger. What would you say to that young man or young woman?
Yeah, really. Number one, of course, keep God in your life first. That's number one. You know, and my thing is, if you have a heart and you got a passion for it, you know what I mean, if you really want to attack it, you will find any means necessary to be the best you can be at that thing. And you know, my thing is, man, look, man, just like I said, just attack whatever you know what I mean? Like, if you really want to play this game, you gotta really attack. You know what I mean? Like, you really gotta want to get better. Like, honestly, like, you gotta be in the gym. You gotta watch. You know, watching your eyes can be incredible. You gotta watch the game. You know what I mean? And you gotta set yourself up. You know, like I said, ask questions. You know what I mean? Like, ask different trainers. You know what I mean? Like you can get a hold of everybody now through social media.
Yes, you could.
Ask trainers
yes,
this,
ask
trainers that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, you
know, even with your body. You know what I mean? Or even with your, with your size, or just in life. You know, just ask questions. If you want to be a doctor, man, look, you can call up doctors' offices.
Yes,
and they would not mind.
They would not mind
if you ask.
Really
If you were really serious,
right?
If you ask a heart, like, people can tell when you fake it.
Yes.
And when you
yes,
real.
They could.
You know, by the way you just talk.
Yes.
So my thing is, if you whatever you want to be, man, you go up there, and you know, I love face-to-face stuff, and you go up there, you ask questions. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a lawyer, man, you know, just set up a meeting with a lawyer.
They would do it.
Because they would
really
do it.
would.
Honestly,
they do.
They would do it. You know, you put your heart,
your
mind, your soul into it, man. And my thing is, when I tell people, it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late. And I can give you this real quick story real quick. I got this one client, it's my boy Brandon Slosher. Brandon Slosher. Shout out to you, D.
Shout out Brandon.
Long story short, Brandon didn't play high school basketball. He didn't play college basketball. But he plays in one of the best semi-pro leagues on the East Coast.
Really?
Which is the East Coast Basketball League.
Wow.
And Brandon can go. And I'm talking about Brandon
So
can really play.
He didn't play high school or college.
I ain't trying to be funny. He's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen in my life.
Gotcha.
He goes at it. Like, I mean, and we actually talked on the phone yesterday. He was like, Drew, I wish you could see me in high school. Like, how much I've gotten better. Like this guy works out, and I ain't trying to be funny. You know, I mean, he is. You know, I think his goal is to make it across seas, and I believe that Brandon will make it across seas, honestly, because he works so hard. I mean, and he just keeps getting better. Like it's crazy because I'm like, bro, he didn't play in high school,
Right.
he didn't play in college.
That's the crazy thing.
But he's playing for the East Coast Basketball League, you know, and he's also got invited to a couple of other leagues too, you know, that has professionals in it. So I'm like, man, look, like if this dude can do it, you know, I mean, he's setting the wave for, you know, anybody that knows him. He's setting the wave for everybody else that's coming up. And that's why I wanted to share his story, because it's never like he just decided, hey, like I just want to attack it. I want to be the best basketball player I can be.
Right.
And he just attacked it head on. I mean, and he's, you know what I mean? And he's getting buckets against other professional basketball players. You know what I mean? And he's,
that play high school and college.
Yeah, that play high school and college, that went to D1 school.
Right.
This and that and third. I mean, and my guy is just going at it. And that's why I say, you know, I mean, I know that he really started on the late path. You know, he started later, of course. But
that's a great story, though.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
But my thing is, I mean, he went and got it.
Yeah.
And, you know, on the flip side of that, because, and it's a whole other thing. So, when I was younger, I was one of the best kids around in the state. You know, all the way through up, you know, grammar school, this and the third. And my thing is, I started working hard.
Was it because you compared yourself to the talent that was around you?
I think it was like 5% that.
Okay.
But ultimately, it was everything that was going for me. It got up to my head. Like, I thought that I was, you know, I thought that I was done. You know what I mean? Like, I'd been like, you know, I could breeze through this, breeze through that. I mean, I had a great freshman year of high school. Great. I had a great sophomore year. Junior year, that's when everything like called up. Like that's when I was like, you know, I was the best. Then that junior year, it was like, no more. You to the bottom. Honestly, like that's what happened.
Same thing.
And everything just went down. And honestly, my junior year was one of the hardest years because even though my team won, I knew like myself. I'm like, yo, like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, like I really have to work. Like I wasn't him, you know. This is not back in the day no more. Like other kids have worked as hard as me, and they've gotten better than me at this point. So it's like, you know what I mean. So my thing is, and one thing I can tell all the kids that are growing up and you receiving all these awards, championships, man, look, that don't mean nothing. Honestly, like if I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, you know, I mean, 8th grade down does not mean anything. Honestly, I mean, kids, first of all, they come out the woodworks, but honestly, kids really, they work. Like, kids are working. So if you are at the top, you know, I mean, if you're one of the best now, you know, up in that 9th down range, man, my advice to you is to keep working. Because somebody will come up and somebody will take your position in a heartbeat. And I ain't trying to be funny, that was one of the most embarrassing, one of the most down times of my life right there, when everybody just jumped ship. Because I thought, and I ain't trying to be funny, I wasn't really heavy in my word. I was, you know, God was like, I was like, man, I'm doing all this, that, and the third. You know, I'm good. I was walking around, you know, school. I'm like, man, you know, I'm Drew Cone. Like, like, what can you tell me? Like, I'm Drew Cone. Like, you know what I mean? But that led to other stuff in school. Like, I mean, I was, you know what I mean, my grades were good. But, you know, I could have done better. You know, but I was just like, man, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, I'm going to get a scholarship, this, and third. Man, look, everybody just came. When I was thinking like that, everybody just came. And they just passed me. And you know, that's one thing I'm like, yo, that's what I tell kids all the time. No matter how good you are, you know what I mean? I'm like, look, you can always keep working. Because some people go stop working. Like, that is just the nature of the world. People go stop working, you know why? Because they don't get satisfied. They go get satisfied of where they at, and they're gonna be like, hey, you know, I've reached, you know, I don't have to work for this, that, and the third. But there's gonna be kids, I'm trying to tell you, who you've never heard of, and they just gonna come right out the woodworks. But you know what? They didn't have the money to play at you when they was younger. They didn't have this, that, and the third, but guess what? They was working.
They still was working.
They was working at the house.
Yes, they still was working.
And I'm not even sure that they even had a basketball goal. They probably had a telephone pole with a grocery, whatever, with a grocery cart, and they probably shooting. Honestly, like, cause you can find a basketball anywhere. You know, I was just walking around like, hey, you know, feeling myself, and then, man, look, if I knew if he was passing me, you know, I look back, people getting offers, people getting, you know, interest. You know, I step on the court, I ain't one of the best no more. So, you know what I mean? It was really a harsh reality, like, hey, you the one who stopped working. Like,
Right.
I mean, my dad, you know, and one thing that, you know, that I love is that, you know, he didn't force us to do anything.
Right.
Like, this is
That's
our own,
actually important.
this is our own path, but he
Right.
told us, if you really want to be good at something, you gotta attack it with all,
Right.
you know, everybody in the coach circle. You gotta attack it. And I'm just like, man, you know, like, I mean, I'm good. You know what I mean? But I didn't realize what attack meant.
Right.
But, you know,
Right.
But you know, and I
Right.
guess that, you know, and it's a blessing because for me, you know, looking back at it, because you know, I think that my younger brothers, they look at my success, and then, you know, and both of them can tell you know, like, they wanted to be on my level
Right.
growing up.
Right.
So that made them work 10 times harder.
Right.
And then they just carry that thing on
Yeah, they
through.
did.
And
Yeah,
it's a
they
beautiful
did.
thing to see, man.
Word. So I gotta check your brothers
Man,
out,
look,
man. I gotta check
hey,
your brothers
I'm
out.
their biggest fans. They look going to games and stuff. Man, I'll be like, yo. I mean, it's honestly,
That's a beautiful
and it's
thing.
crazy though because I'm nervous doing their game. Like,
Right.
I'm playing. I be sitting there like, no,
Right.
why am I over here nervous? Man, but you know, man, I love my brothers, man. They the ones, man. Look, they taking over. You know, just not even on, like, off the court and off the field. And you know, they too one of the most humblest people I've ever met. And you know, man, it's just a beautiful thing to see that they learn from what I went through,
Right.
and they taking it to another level. And you know,
That's
looking
what it's
back at it,
supposed to do.
yeah, and that's what it's supposed to do. You know,
Yeah,
looking
right.
back at it as a big brother,
Mhm.
you know, because people all the time they be like, man, you know, like, you know, your brother's this, your brother's that, and I'm like, man, yeah.
Right.
I tell them, man, look, these
Right.
jokers, they put in the work.
Yes.
I ain't put in the work like they did, you know, and I ain't trying to be funny. Before everything clicked my junior year at Pfeiffer, I used to be like, man, you know, I put in the work, you know, this, that, and the third. Man, I really didn't, dog.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one thing that I would tell everybody. You know, let's get back on topic, is that no matter your success, always keep working, because there is another level.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to be funny.
Right.
If you don't reach that other level, somebody else will jump you,
Yes.
and they'll reach it
Yes,
faster
they
than
will.
you do.
Yes, they will.
I mean, like, that's just life. So my thing is, and that's one thing I'm trying to do even right now. I know that there's more levels that I can tap into, so I'm trying to learn. You know, I'm attacking this training thing hard, and you know, I mean, we just gonna keep pushing forward. You know, that's all we can do. So,
Listen, tell the people how you could be reached, man.
Instagram at cone_work, Twitter at cone_work, cell phone number 336-918-5064. Man, you know, my phone is open door. You know, just call me with any questions. You know, if you want to book a session or just any, you know, just life questions. You know, I mean, I'm here to explain my story to anybody. You know, I ain't sugarcoating nothing. I ain't holding, you know, no information back. So, I mean, you can just reach out to me, you know, anyway, and, you know, I'm available. So,
See, let me just say this. I am such a blessed person doing stuff like this. Because, like I said before, this is part of my counseling. I love to hear people's stories. We're going to leave y'all with that. Drew Cone, my
I
man.
appreciate you, baby. Yes,
Everybody, welcome to another edition of Everyone Has a Story. Bridging the gaps, we got you.
Yes, sir.
Everybody be blessed.
That was tough right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
I bridge the gap for 'em. I bridge the gap for 'em. Hands up if you know you bridge the gap for 'em. I bridge the gap for 'em. I bridge the gap for 'em. Hands up if you know I bridge the gap for 'em.